Peace be upon you, this is Isaac here, and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2024. It's safe to say that Christianity is a pretty big deal. It's by far the most popular religion in the world, with millions of people practicing dozens of versions of it, and my family is among those people. Yes, I normally don't tend to bring up my faith in my videos because I don't think that's what you all came here to see anyway, but as a born and raised Christian boy, I'd say I'm pretty modest with my beliefs, at least compared to most of my family, that is. And with a religion as big as Christianity, it's to be expected that there'd be a lot of movies made to capitalize off of Christian viewers. With the exception of The Prince of Egypt, however, almost all of these sort of movies are absolute garbage. And all this rambling has led me to the subject of this video, the Book of Clarence. It's kinda sort of a biblical movie. It takes place while Jesus was alive, and it features a lot of prominent biblical figures, but it's also a fictional story set within this time period with a predominantly black cast. Leading up to its release, I figured, this could go either way, really. The only way for me to find out was by watching it, and I liked it. It's about a down-on-his-luck atheist named Clarence, who in this movie is the brother of the Apostle Thomas. Oh, like Clarence Thomas. I don't know if that was intentional or not, and if it was, then I have no idea what it has to do with this movie, but I couldn't help bringing it up. Anyways, Clarence and his friend Elijah are in a lot of debt to this guy who will kill them if they don't pay him back. So in an act of desperation, Clarence decides to become a new messiah, only to find out that the redemptive power of belief may be the only way out of his current situation. In other words, it's a vastly superior version of Shark Tale. One of the main themes in the Book of Clarence that grabbed my attention is surrounding knowledge versus belief. Throughout most of the film, Clarence is an atheist, and he presents a lot of arguments to support his decision. But as his little white lie continues to grow, more of the movie's overarching themes are presented, like what it means to be faithful, and if you can believe in a divine entity while still being a good person in your own right. It's honestly refreshing compared to most other Christian movies, which are just Christians good, atheists bad, and it makes for some thought-provoking commentary about the overall ideas of religion, all while still having a fair amount of levity. Although when it comes to the writing overall, I'd say that's the movie's strongest and weakest aspect, and that is very apparent in the tone. As previously mentioned, it has a lot of comedic dialogue, which is consistently pretty funny. But it also has some more dramatic and serious moments, especially towards the end, and while I do think these scenes are emotionally effective and that the acting is really good, the tonal shifts can come across as rather jarring, and they factor into the movie's pacing being a bit weak. Thankfully, that's probably the only problem I have with the Book of Clarence. Everything else, while not amazing, is still pretty good. For one, like I said earlier, the acting is great. The MVP has got to be Lakeith Stanfield, who does a great job embodying the charisma of Clarence and the seriousness of Thomas. Even the actors with more minor roles like Alfre Woodard, Nicholas Pinnock, and Benedict Cumberbatch all give excellent performances even with their limited screen time. The film is also well made from a technical standpoint. The direction and cinematography are on point, the soundtrack is good, and the production values are amazing. The production design and costume design do a fantastic job selling this as a biblical epic while still giving the film its own distinct identity. Well, I don't have much else to say here, so overall, the Book of Clarence was an unexpected but still pleasant surprise. It could have benefited from a more consistent tone and tighter pacing, but it provides some great direction, stellar production design, a memorable cast, and some thought-provoking commentary on what it means to believe. I'd say this is worth giving a watch no matter what your faith tradition is. I'm sure secular audiences might appreciate the themes, and maybe religious audiences might like how it adds its own unique spin on famous biblical events. The Book of Clarence is like the main character it's about. It's nothing divine or holy to be sure, but it's trying its best and I can't fault it on that front, so what I'll do instead is give it an 8 out of 10. Next time, I'll be talking about Mean Girls. It's been a whole 20 years since the first one came out, and now we've got a new version of the story from Tina Fey that just so happens to be a musical, and despite my low expectations, I came out of it having a good time. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Isaac Reviews 2024, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!